The storefront fetch is one of the most important and foundational parts of the Oink for Influencers toolkit. It is the thing that fuels a lot of the other features within the extension. So we want to do the storefront fetch first, and we want to do it often. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do the fetch if you're not sure. Now, if you're an Amazon influencer and if you don't have Oink already, I'll put a link down in the description below. But here's how you do your storefront fetch. So you're going to go up and click the storefront fetch button. You have a pop-up here. I highly recommend you take a second just to read the text. And then you see there's a fetch storefront ASINs here, but look below it. We also have a couple of options to select. So if you're normally by nature, this is just going to fetch your videos. A lot of people only do videos and they don't do anything else. But if you do idea lists, and specifically you do unique idea lists with unique ASINs in them that you haven't made a video for, right? So sometimes people will make these idea lists that they can promote off-site. So if you're making idea lists with unique ASINs that you do not have videos for, then you would want to enable this to fetch those ASINs as well. I don't do that, so I'm going to disable that. Same thing with this one. If you create shoppable pictures like collages with unique ASINs that you do not also have videos for, you'd want to fetch those too and enable this. I don't, so I'm going to disable that. From there, you're just going to simply click the Fetch Storefront ASINs button. Now, there's two types of fetches. One is if you've never done this before, it's going to go through your entire storefront, and it's going to take longer than this just did. It needs to go through your storefront. It's going to capture all that information, the titles of your videos, the duration of your videos, the products you have tagged, etc. And then at the end, it's going to also go through a process where it checks the pricing for each thing you have tagged and a couple of other additional checks. But you're going to end up with a page that looks like this. It tells you how many you had when you started, how many you added, etc. It also gives you a breakdown of how many ASINs it found. Now, these are going to usually be unique ASINs. So you might find you actually have more content than this number. This isn't necessarily just counting the videos that you've made, it's counting the unique ASINs on your storefront as well. So don't be surprised if this number doesn't match the storefront content count, totally fine. You're also going to see here if you have currently unavailable videos, right? These are videos where the products you tagged are not available currently. We want to try to fix those. You would do that in the storefront health check. That's a different video. Go watch that. And also, if you have any untagged videos, same thing. That's going to be fixed in the storefront health check. These are both broken types of content that you want to fix on your storefront. But for now, we're just talking about the fetch. And then so that's all. That's all you have to do in order to do the fetch. Now, there's going to come a time whenever you have done it already, you've already done your fetch. The next time you come in, this is going to be an incremental fetch because we don't need to fetch the whole storefront again. We already did that once. So it's just going to find basically where you left off and fetch any new content you have made up to that point. And so this is what you're going to see more often than not. And this says you had 3,000 unique IDs. I didn't add any because I already had them added. Same information here, right? So again, there's two types of fetches. There's a full storefront fetch, which goes back through and gathers everything again. And there's also an incremental fetch when you have already done a fetch. It's just adding all the new stuff that you have done. You have a couple of other options here. You have a copy ASIN. Some people like to do that in case they keep a separate spreadsheet or if they're doing certain brand collaborations and they want that information. A clear ASINs, which I'll talk about in a second, and a close. Now, there are some instances where I do recommend that even whenever you have done a full storefront fetch once, that you should still come back and do it periodically. Because what happens is over time, your storefront content will change. The old videos you've done, maybe they go inactive, they go unavailable, they go untagged, or if you're working through those through the storefront health check, you need to update your fetch. So I do have a recommendation of how often that you should be doing the storefront fetch. In order to do a fresh fetch, again, what you would do is you'd come in here. Again, I'm going to walk you through the process, storefront fetch button. You'd go down to clear shop ASINs. This empties out everything that you currently have, like this. And then you're just going to simply click the Fetch Storefront ASINs. Again, this is now going to go through the process of gathering everything freshly. And again, what you can do is you can look in the Piggy Planner if you don't know how often you're supposed to be doing that, and it'll give you a time frame and a schedule of when you should be doing it on exactly which days, so you know exactly how often it's recommended for you to do the full storefront fetch. And again, this is what we use to do things like the Creator Connections cross-check to check your storefront. We use this to fix your broken videos in the storefront. I forgot I just cleared those out. In the storefront health check, this Storefront fetch is what we use for a lot of different features in the extension. So it's imperative that you do it immediately whenever you download the extension for the first time, and do it every time that you create new content. And once periodically, based off of the schedule that the Piggy Planner gives you, you need to clear your ASINs and do a storefront fetch and just refresh your entire storefront bit of information. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys in understanding exactly how to do the storefront fetch.